Welcome everyone to our Mount Nebo, Provident Nebo presentation that we're doing for this Saturday morning. We today are going to be talking about first aid kits. And we have someone here who has many years of experience in first aid, Brother Mower, and he's going to be talking to us about the stuff that he's brought here today and have a conversation. I hope you brought some questions because he's a wealth of knowledge, so please feel free to ask questions. And I'm just going to turn the time right over to you.
All right. Nope, that works. Thank you. So yeah, like you said, my name's Dustin Mower. I've been an EMT. I was an EMT with North Fork Fire Department. I started back in 2009. And then I kind of served for about 10 years as a volunteer firefighter EMT. It was a lot of fun. A lot of different experiences, some good, some bad. And then I kind of stopped doing that so I could spend more time with my family. But in the process, I kind of learned a few things over those years about first aid kits and their importance, not just in your home, but in other aspects of what you do in life, whether that's camping, you're fishing, you're out boating, you're driving your own personal car, or you're out on a hike. Those types of things, you never know when a situation is going to occur, whether to you or to somebody else, where you're going to be like, oh, I wish I had, but you didn't. And so being prepared is a big part of that. I also teach. I'm an instructor with the National Safety Council as far as like their first aid CPR AED type stuff. So I do some training there with the first aid CPR type stuff. And so I've kind of always enjoyed the medical type of stuff, but more the adrenaline, right? So you run into those types of situations where other people are running out. It's like, okay, gloves, glasses, let's go. And so it's been fun. But yeah, so I wanted to start off with a story. And this story is about my own daughter. So she was at the time 4 months old. And my wife was boiling water. So you already know where this is going, right? Pot of boiling water right there. Daughter sitting in a bouncer right there. And my wife happened to just turn to do something. And my 3-month-old rolled and put her hand all the way in the boiling water, right? So she comes out, as most kids do, screaming, and that's a parent's worst nightmare, right? So my wife is just flip the cold water on, run it underneath there. She's trying to do this, multitasking, right? Doing all this contortion type stuff, and she's calling me on the phone. What do I do? Take her to the Instacare, and I'll meet you there. And she's like, how am I supposed to do that when I got a screaming baby and I can't drive, right? She's hysterical. She just burned her 3-month-old baby. And so I raced home, got home. I met them right as they were pulling out of the parking, like right at that crossroad. I just put my vehicle in park. We drove straight to the Instacare where they took really good care of her. Today, you wouldn't even notice that she got burned because of the medicine that they use. And we're advancing, and it's amazing. And so I bring that up because if I can find it, it's something that I believe we should all have in our first aid kits. Oh, where is it? Oh. Okay, it's called Silvex or colloidal silver. Okay, I don't know if you've heard of this type of stuff before or not. Extremely well. It does really well for burns. The other one, if you're more on the homeopathic oil side of things, and I'm trying to think of what it is, my wife uses it. Lavender, thank you. Lavender oil. So that's another one if you're into the oils and things like that. So there's all these remedies, right, that we can use to help with certain situations that we find. So that's the story. Yep, got her taken care of. They thought they were going to have to take her up to the University of Utah. I said, nope, fix her here. He's like, okay. And so they fixed her there. She was in kind of this wrap from here to here. Drove her nuts. She's 3 months old, right? Pulling and tugging at everything. But healed right up. No scarring, nothing. And so it's amazing, right? The things that we're able to do. But I tell that story for two reasons. Number one, reaction. Do you know how you react in situations? Because everybody reacts differently, right? You get those that are runners. You get those that are videoers, and you get those that are like me, that we're going to run in and we're going to try and figure out how we can assess and hopefully kind of de-escalate the situation, because there's oftentimes things are just heightened. And so just knowing who you are, that's great. Some of you might not do the blood and that kind of thing. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Some of you probably don't do the vomit. That's fine too, right? But unfortunately, both parents have to do the diapers. It's just kind of how it works. Yeah. So, okay. The other reason I talk about that is making sure that you know what to do, right? In that type of a situation, little kid comes to you, one of your kids come to you, and they got an owie, right? What do? Is it Band-Aid worthy? Is it, I'll wash it off and kiss it and tap Johnny on the head and, dude, you're good, right? Or is it more serious? Because to the kids, it's more serious, right? They're hurt. But to us as parents, it's like, we're okay. Did you have a question?
Oh, I was just going to say it's important for us to have a plan before things happen. That's just what emergency preparedness is all about. Like, I love what you're saying. It's perfect.
Perfect. Thank you. We'll lead into that.
Yeah.
So, yes. So, how many of you guys have first aid kits? How many of you guys have checked your first aid kits probably in the last couple of days? Okay. How many of your first aid kits look like this? Still in the package that you bought at Walmart, and it's never been opened, and you don't even know if it has everything that it says it has. Right? Yeah. Okay. How many of you know where your first aid kit is? Okay. Right? That's probably the most important. So I'm kind of bouncing all over. We'll get to this. I work as a safety manager for a construction company. So I have about 150 employees. And so with that, I've probably got 75 vehicles as part of our fleet. And every one of those guys that I work with need to know where the first aid kit is in their trucks. Okay. What do you think we go through the most in first aid?
Band-Aids.
Band-Aids. Yes, Band-Aids. Okay. So we'll talk Band-Aids. So let's get into this. Personalize your first aid kit, right? So we kind of want to take our first aid kit and build it to us, our specific needs. If we've got little kids, we're going to add some things. If our kids are kind of grown and things like that, maybe we take some stuff out. But essentially, you want to make it fit your lifestyle, okay? And it could be something as simple as this little guy right here that stays in your car. And it has just the bare necessities. Band-Aids, maybe a gauze, maybe a bandage wrap, and that's about it, right? Because you never know when you're going to need to plug something or wrap something up, okay? The other thing is, and this, I'm just going off of experience, this right here is the best Band-Aid ever invented. How many of you guys have used electrician's tape or duct tape as a Band-Aid? Right, yeah, see?
There we are.
Electricians do it all the time, right? We cut ourselves and it's like, I'm not going to the work med or first aid. Tissue, and then you wander around and it looks, something similar to this, right? Can I still work? Absolutely.
And it's waterproof.
It's waterproof. And the tissue soaks up the blood. And then it matches the color of tape. So nobody knows I got hurt. Right? And so, it's just really simple stuff. But imagine putting this on a 2-year-old. Right? Might not be as effective. So, okay. So what type of lifestyles do we have in here? What do you guys do? How many of you guys hike?
I milk goats.
You milk goats.
I have a little farm.
Okay.
And I garden.
Garden. Okay.
I sharpen things and I still have all my fingers.
Imagine that. He sharpens things and he still has all of his fingers. Okay. How many of you guys are hikers? Bikers, runners, boaters.
Even
right?
sewing.
How many of you guys drive cars? How'd you get here? Right? You have first aid kits in your cars. You should if you don't. Okay? I'm not saying I'm not an advocate for a go bag, but have a go bag. That includes your first aid kit, some clothes, maybe some water. And so, how big should my first aid kit be? What do you think?
Whatever you need.
Okay. Yeah, whatever you need, specific to whatever you need.
Which one? There's different kits depending on where you're at, like the car or the one that's just in the kitchen that's simple, and then there's maybe a bigger one that goes with like a go bag.
Yep, exactly. And so, and they're all different, right? I mean, you got those three there. So some of these, and I'll let you walk through here. What do you think that's made out of? It's a tackle box, right? Something as simple as a tackle box I can take and turn into a mobile first aid kit, right? And I can pack that thing full of different stuff. So, Tums, right? We'll talk Tums. You want to hit that? Who's got the button? Oh, thank you. So there you go. Another one. Consider household members, medications, allergies, travel habits, sports, pets, and common local hazards. Okay? So all of those type of things.
Wasps.
Wasps, right? Anybody here allergic to wasps? Bee stings, peanuts, shellfish, right? Those types of things. And so one of the best things you can have in your kit, right? Benadryl. Okay, the other thing that is really good to have in your kit is something that your doctor prescribes to you, or should have, is an EpiPen, right? Your EpiPen. And so, yeah, they're expensive, but man, when you need them, you better have them. Because you never know. Bees, man, they're everywhere. Wasps are everywhere. So,
With the prescription medications, is it good to stock up on those? There's companies like Jace Case, or there's quite a few of them.
yep,
Would it be good to go through and get some prescription medications?
I would. And I say that just obviously not for your home kit, but for your travel kit for sure. Because what happens if you get stranded? You're out camping, right? Something happens.
Yeah.
And now you're without your medications, right? Because you only planned so many for the days that you were gone. And so, yeah, I would certainly probably add some of those to that first aid kit so that you're covered in the event that you need them. So, yeah, for sure. And then, just some things that, I kind of put in mind. Burn cream, sunburns, right? And that doesn't have to be this big. You can get some of the smaller ones. Motrin for kids, right? They might not be your kids, but how many of you guys hang out with family members that have little itty bitties, right? And so sometimes, right, we talk about preparation, having some of those types of things. Excedrin migraine, right? This is my wife's best friend. So, just thinking about those types of things. And then the other one is, and this is just what we have, Children's Allertech, allergy medication.
That's a good one.
It's a big one. And it doesn't matter what you have, if you've got a prescription from a doctor or you take the Zyrtec, the Allegra D. I mean, there's a number of different ones out there. It's an antihistamine. And so it's going to also help with bee stings on a much smaller level than Benadryl will, but it will certainly help. And so keep that in mind. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so core supplies for everyone, right? We talk about bandages, okay? I've got a couple of Band-Aids here. And what I want to see if you guys, who will volunteer? I got 4 Band-Aids. I need a volunteer. Okay, I want to see if you can open these and put them on. Okay, we'll go over here.
When they get old, they don't open very well.
Yeah.
Oh, it just tears apart.
Okay, so what do we have going on? Right,
See that?
they're flaky, they fall apart. So let's talk expiration dates.
It's not even sticky.
This one is, I think is, I can put it on the one I put on this morning. It's not nearly as sticky as my other one was.
Hey, we have a success story.
These are the kind I like though.
Yeah.
When they're new, these are awesome.
Yep. And so just a couple of things with Band-Aids, right? They do get old. They flake, they fall apart, the adhesive kind of wears off, things like that. So even with your drugs, you need to make sure that you're checking the expiration dates. And so sometimes they just, if they're old, get rid of them. They're not going to serve their purpose unless you want to take that, put it on there, and then wrap it in electrician's tape or duct tape or something. You know, you can still use it. And so, but yeah, just a couple of other things. Make sure triangle bandages. What are triangle bandages good for?
You can make a sling out of it.
Okay, you can make a sling out of them. Did you know that you can make an eye patch out of these? So you can roll them into what we call a donut, and you can put it over something that's protruding, sticking out, right? So there's a lot of things you can do with triangle bandages outside of just a triangle bandage. I'm not going to get into the first aid part of that, but gauze. You farmers, how many of you have seen this type of stuff? They use it on horses, horse injuries and stuff like that. It's just Tegaderm. So it's just a big piece of Tegaderm.
Good idea.
Huh?
Go get some of that from like IFA.
Yeah, IFA.
Brilliant.
They sell them, right? Wrap them on things, really easy. What else? Okay, so Neosporin, triple antibiotic. How many of you guys have that in your first aid kit? If you don't, get it. Get it and get it in there. So that is certainly going to help. I have right here, we'll pass these around, 3 different brands. Each one of them probably does something different. Some of them are a pain reliever. Some of them are just an antibiotic cream. So look at that. Instaglucose. What is Instaglucose used for? Diabetics. So if you're a diabetic, right? Type 2 diabetic, right? Probably want to have something like this in my kit, just in the event I need it. So sting relief, sunburn cream, all these types of things you might want to have in your first aid kit. Some of the others, right? Sam Splint, you guys seen these before?
Mm-mm.
So really nice, really cool. It's called a Sam Splint, and I can pretty much, it's got kind of a aluminum piece into it. You can roll it up. You can do different things with it. You can use it to slap your kid. Whack, you know, whatever.
So then you put that on like a twisted ankle and then use the...
Yep. And then you can
The
take
tape.
this and put that
Yeah.
on it, right? Wrap it up. The nice thing is about Sam Splints is you can form them. So if I've got a little kid that's got a broken arm, right? I can essentially take that Sam Splint, create it, form it to his arm or her arm, and then wrap it up. And then I take that triangle bandage, right? And I put it in there, and that little kid is like, yay! Until she tells you that she can't use her fingers or whatever, right? So hot cold packs. Don't have to be very big, but certainly have them in your vehicles. Have them at home. Kids are so much fun, right? We all know that. And then they come wandering in and they got this goose egg on their head. And little Johnny's over here, I didn't do it, right? I don't know what happened to him. And so ice packs, making sure that you got just small ice packs and stuff like that in your kits. Emergency blankets. Okay, they make emergency tents now.
And sleeping bags.
And sleeping bags. And so things have evolved, right? So and these are 99 cents at Walmart. So, I mean, really easy, really cheap, but certainly something to have in there. Okay.
Have
Where are
you
we at?
used like the emergency blanket in
I have not.
No. Okay.
I have never used an emergency blanket,
But it's good to have
but it's good to have in the event. So I hike, hunt, those types of things. And so certainly I'm going to have my, I'm usually staying in a tent, but if I'm out hiking, I've usually got a fanny pack with some things. You never know when you're going to get stranded, right? Other things that you might want to consider are water filtration. Okay. Those little straws that they make now, again, emergency situations, right? Trauma supplies. Okay. So, where's your, okay. So this is hers, Leah's, but this is a trauma kit. It's also a suture kit. Now, I'm not telling you that you need to go and practice suturing, okay? Not at all. Take them to a doctor, okay? If you need to suture something, take them to a doctor. But they do make them, okay? Trauma kits also include trauma bandages, dressings, and things like that. I mean, when we're talking trauma, we're talking major cuts. Bones are exposed, things like that.
So one of the reasons I bought that is in the event of an emergency, if the medical establishment is overwhelmed, so many people are injured, and they start running out of suture kits, it's good to have your own because you can provide the tools and then ask a professional to do the work.
Yep. So that's just one item there. Okay. The other, where is it? It's in this one right here. Gentlemen, ladies, what are these?
Tampons.
Okay, these for men are bleeder savers. That's what they were invented for, right? So I can take this sucker, pop it off, cut what I need to, and shove it up my kid's nose for a nosebleed. Or I can take and pack a wound if I needed to, right?
You can also
about pads too.
Pads, oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Pads are awesome. And right, President's over there cringing. But imagine, you grab a pad, like, oh my gosh. Nah, dude, grab that thing, rip it open, right on there, right? So, there are things that we can use, improvise, right? Things like that. So, over-the-counter drugs we talked about, water, half your body weight in ounces. So, know that, okay? That's how much water you should be taking in every day. So, and notepad with a pen or a pencil. How many of you guys brought notepads, right? You're taking notes. Doesn't have to be very big. But a notepad and a pen, pencil. A tourniquet. I wouldn't necessarily say you need a tourniquet in your first aid kit. That's totally up to you, okay? There are certain restrictions with tourniquets being applied and things like that. So you really have to make sure you're trained in putting a tourniquet on. There's different brands of tourniquets out there. So yeah.
Could you use rubber bands if you didn't have?
No. Rubber bands expand, right? And so our goal in putting a tourniquet on is to stop or reduce the flow of bleeding, okay? And so
my understanding of tourniquets, like if somebody's going to die from bleeding, it's a good option. But other than that, you could actually maybe do more damage with a tourniquet than you are helping. So somebody can get the attention they need.
Yep.
And they're not in danger of bleeding out.
Yeah.
People can lose a lot of blood, right?
Yep. We can lose a lot, but not a lot.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I mean, I
right?
just think, like if
but
you
yes.
get medical attention relatively soon, you don't want to damage where somebody would lose a limb or something.
Right.
Tourniquet.
Yep. And so you had mentioned something. So yeah, with tourniquets, be very, very careful. They're kind of a last resort. Let's put it that way, right? And I'll just so we'll go first aid real quick. Okay, everybody okay with that? We go first aid real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so when it comes to bleeding, what's our goal? How do you do that? Okay. If somebody's bleeding profusely, what do? Apply more pressure. Okay? And if somebody's really bleeding, really bleeding, you grab a trauma kit and you apply more pressure. Okay? You see where I'm going? And then last resort, tourniquet. So, I mean, you can stop bleeding. So, I mean, I could take a trauma dressing, and if I really had to, how tight could I make that?
Pretty tight.
Pretty tight. I could even put twists in it. Or my belt. Right? There are other things that we can use before we ever have to really apply a tourniquet. But, like I say, if it's needed, it's needed. Put it on there, right? We don't want them losing blood to the point where they pass out, faint, situations like that. A whistle. Whistles are good to have. They're annoying as all get out, but they're good to have in your first aid kit, especially in a car, something like that. Certainly something to probably put in your first aid kit is a whistle, just something that, you know, you can send out a signal. If you're out camping and hiking, something happens, you've got a whistle there that kind of sounds that emergency alarm.
When my kids were younger and my son would go scout camp or the girls go girls camp, I always gave them a whistle, but they always had to wear it the whole time.
Perfect.
Because we're in California, that was during the time a lot of scouts were getting lost and all this stuff. So my kids always had to have the whistle on them. They slept with them and everything. When we'd go camping, they'd all have their whistles on.
Yep. So they're great. Great to have. Go to the next slide. Any questions with core supplies? Sorry.
No, sorry.
Anything to add? Anybody got anything that you've kind of personalized your kit to?
I mean, I have a lot of things that I added, like the choking,
Okay.
the vac,
Oh,
choking
yeah.
vac.
Little choking air vac. I think it's this guy right here, right?
Yeah,
So it's like it works kind of like a plunger,
pulls it out,
pulls it out. So,
especially with little kids,
Yep.
or even if you're in a restaurant. That's oxygen.
oxygen boost. We like this, right? So something like that you want to put in there.
And that was just at Walmart.
Yep. Yeah, this is at Walmart. Couple, I think it's like $9 or $10, something like
To
that.
have albuterol to help people who are having a hard time breathing.
Yep. So,
Mm.
So settle a debate for me here.
okay. I don't-
Snake bite kits.
Okay.
Worthless or useful?
Snake bite kits.
Snake bite kits or anything like that.
Okay. So what's in the kit?
Like this big.
Little suction elements, like little, this is between my mother-in-law. I think they were useless, but she thinks that they are going to save me from a rattlesnake.
Like anti-venom in a blade.
Okay.
Usually in them.
No, I don't.
In this case, this was
Anti-venom?
more suction oriented. I think it had a band on there to apply pressure.
Right.
Yeah, it had like a mini tourniquet and like a
So,
section
Razor or something.
to cut.
you want to make it bleed. Okay.
Okay.
If you can, make it bleed. That way, that venom, if you can, get it out. Do not ever suck the venom out.
Thank you.
Okay. Why would I want it in my mouth? So don't suck the venom out. I certainly wouldn't. I probably do whatever you can to slow it down. Ice pack on it, slow it down, and then do whatever you can to keep your adrenaline down. Because your heart's going to be racing and pumping, and the more it's pumping, right, the more that blood is circulating. And now we're going to start to run into issues and symptoms, and signs are going to start to reveal themselves. And then, we're going to be in a bad spot. So,
Get to the doctor.
and get them to the hospital.
Yeah.
Don't take them to an Instacare or a work med. Get them straight to the emergency room. Okay. The other thing is do not catch the snake. Here it is. Right? The emergency room certainly doesn't want to see it. They want to know what type of a snake it is. I mean, I guess unless you've lopped the head off of it, but just probably the best thing with snake bites and stuff like that is do everything you can to slow your flow of blood. and then put an ice pack on it. It's probably going to sting. I don't know. I've never been bitten by a snake, but yeah. So, but yeah, So Black Widow, right? Black Widow, same type of a thing. Brown recluse, we have those. So things like that, you might want to do just a little bit of research. They can get out of control with the bites. They cause necrosis, which is just eating away of the tissue to the point where, I mean, you could end up with a gaping wound, right, due to a spider bite. And so just make sure that you're doing all that you can in the event if it's a spider bite, okay? So add personal medical needs, right? So prescription meds, inhalers. So asthma kids, right? Those types of things, you might want to add an inhaler into it. Put one in your car if you can. If you're out traveling, things like that, have one in your car. Because, and I say this, if you get in an accident, right? Now adrenaline's running, you're breathing, it's all out of whack. Sometimes that inhaler is going to be your rescue device. Okay, now I'm good. EpiPens, glucose supplies, right? Spare glasses. How many of you guys wear glasses? Right? So you might want an extra pair of glasses because we lose them. Some of us lose them. Where did I put those, honey? I set them down, right? Right. Did you check the top of your head? Right? Other conditions specific to your needs and your family's needs. So I don't know what those are. You guys do. And so it's just important that you kind of tailor it, mix it, make it your own. So, okay, customized by activity. These are just some of the things that I put up there. Hiking, blister care, blister kits. Right, that moleskin you can put on there. Even Band-Aids work decent. What I do is pop the blister. So I don't have blister kits in mind or in these specific, but that's okay. Cold packs, wraps for sports, baseball, soccer, lacrosse, football, biking. I know kids are into mountain biking now. So there's a lot of different things. Road trips. How many of you guys go on road trips? Right? Motion sickness. You fly, right? That Dramamine that you can get. There's others too that you can buy. Extra water. Doesn't have to be, you can get just the little bottles, right? So there's certain things there. Hunting. You have any hunters in here? Right? A little bit, right? So knowing what you need could be something as simple as this, right? Or not. So hunting accident, you ever slipped off the side of a mountain and went, right? And then your legs all road rashed up, right? Don't even know if your gun's going to shoot straight at this point. So yeah, biking, fishing, boating. What are some other things you guys do? Sitting in a lawn chair out on the deck. At the end of the day, that could be considered an activity, right? So long as you got a nice cold beverage, ice. So, but yeah, customize it by the activity. Okay. And when I say that too, sometimes it's, well, we got to hurry and go to Millie's soccer game. Great. Do we have the first aid kit in the car? Hopefully you do. Hopefully you got, because it might not be your kid that needs a Band-Aid, right? So, okay, next. Organization and maintenance. So label sections. Check expiration dates twice a year is always good. So on most of like your Benadryl and stuff like that, this one expires December of 2026, right? So at that point, are they useless at that point?
No.
You can still use them, right?
My daughter's a pharmacy tech. She said most of the pills and stuff are still okay after their expiration date. They just can't guarantee the effectiveness.
Right.
So they said, worst case scenario, they're not as potent as they once were, but they're still okay to take. You just might not get the full effect after the expiration date.
100%. Yep, 100% agree. So, I mean, if they're probably 9 years old, you might want to chuck them and get new, but
I think it is important to label and organize, because when you're in that stressful situation, you don't want to be rifling through looking for what you need.
Yep.
It doesn't work if you have kids, though. because they'll go in there and they'll mess up the whole thing.
They rifle through everything, right? I mean, how many of you guys had little kids that you're in doing something and you stop and you're like, I have not heard my kids. And then you walk in and they all have Band-Aids everywhere. And it's like, oh, that is cute. Note to Alexa, Band-Aids, right? So, and when I say with Band-Aids too, right? I mean, I just have they're over here, right? Just the Band-Aids. Kids love Band-Aids that have drawings and things and princesses and ponies, and the guys like Spider-Man and Superman and Hulk, you know? So tailor that. Even your grandkids, right? They come and, Nana, can I have a Band-Aid? Oh yeah, what kind of a Band-Aid do you want, right? Let's give them a plain Jane, or let's give them something that maybe they might like, you know, and then they can go show it off to their friends.
Band-Aids, when you get old, you need to be careful because the Band-Aid will peel off your skin.
Okay.
So you need to get special Band-Aids.
And they make them. There are specialized bandages.
Cost more, of course.
Yep. So they do cost more, but yes. So be very careful. Skin, it gets frail over time. And so, yeah, you want to make sure that you get the right kind of a Band-Aid. Great comment, Nancy. Thank you. Okay, key takeaway. So we're pretty much there. And then we'll just kind of open it up to questions. But assess your risks. Know kind of what your needs are in your own home, in your own families. Include the essentials, medications being one of those. Sometimes too, maybe adding little soft and chews or gushers or fruit snacks, right, into your first aid kit too. Just something that might hold over some of those smaller kids or even yourself if you get stranded, right? So some things you might want to add, personal needs, whatever those personal needs are, and then review regularly so that your kit stays up to date, it's effective. It's probably the big one. Again, it doesn't have to be anything too big, too extravagant. I bought that at Walmart as a Hearts. I bought this one here. It's a DeWalt at Home Depot. So, I mean, you can use different things. Like, my mind thinks that way. It's like, oh, what else could I use that for? I can come up with 15 different things, right? So, and this is easy to just throw in underneath the seat in the car, right? It's out of the way. It's simple. It's rugged. So it's not going to break or tear. This is one that you'll get at Home Depot. It's $14, $15. Pretty simple, pretty rugged. You can even lock it out to keep the kids out of it. So if you wanted to, but you got to remember that you got to get into it. So don't forget the code to the lock. Okay, one of the last things, right? Disposable gloves. Okay, please make sure you've got disposable gloves. Bleeding, any of that type of stuff, you don't want it on you. It's not yours. So let whoever it belongs to stay with whoever it belongs to. But yeah, make sure you've got gloves and get them on. Okay, don't wait to put them on. Put them on. If you don't have gloves, grab a bag, a bread bag, something to create a barrier between you and them. Okay, and I don't care if it's your own kid. I've gotten in the habit, even with my own kids, when they bleed, I put gloves on. I don't want it.
Well, it also keeps them more sanitary too.
Right.
Keeps the wounds.
Yep. And then eye wash. Okay? Or some type of normal saline to wash out crap that gets in kids' eyeballs or your own. It's always good to have some type of an eye wash, some type of a normal saline. They make these ones, these little MedFirst. So little bottles, you just spray them in there. Kids hate their eyeballs washed out. Mine do. Best thing you could do there is lay them down and put the water right at the bridge of their eyes so that you use it and it just fills both eyeballs. So that's just kind of a trick.
Nice.
Other than that, that's pretty much it. Any questions?
I think we're all really excited to look
Go for
at
it.
this. So
Have at it. you want to play with the Sam Splint, play with it. So, but yeah, the majority of these are mine. A couple of them are work. I know where one kid is. I know where another kid is. I've got them kind of stashed throughout the house. So.
Where can you buy those little individual wipes and things?
These?
Yeah,
You can get them on Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah, so Amazon will sell them. Some medical supply stores will carry them as well in the boxes and things like that. So you can get those. Burn creams, triple antibiotic.
They come like this.
Yeah, they come in a pack that's just like that. So
Yeah.
you can kind of do that. So, okay, the last thing, how many of you guys in here work with youth, young men, young women program, Relief Society, Elders Quorum? Okay, did you know that the stake has a first aid kit? And it is available for you to use on those type of outings. Cammie and I got together with a couple of others. The pack is very big. It has just about everything in it. And so if you're out with the young men, young women, Elders Quorum, it is accessible. So, and it stays at the stake, I think, clerk's office. So you just have to get with one of them to get it. So, okay.
Brilliant.
Well, that's all I have. So thank you for coming. Hopefully I've given you some information that's valuable to you. If not, hopefully it was time well spent. So, okay.
A good idea is for everyone to get trained. So get trained in CPR and first aid so that you know what to do in an emergency. And you have that training so when you're in that stressful situation, you just automatically revert to your training.